be live on stream now. And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Quarter 2 Million podcast. We are, we're going to have some fun here today. Going to go through a bunch of different stuff. I'm looking at a Einstein trade, by the way, that looks pretty good. I wish I had caught it when it first was announced. But just really fast, everybody, just so you know, we are just simply documenting our journey, turning $250 into $1 million. And the stuff that we're learning along the way, our wins, our losses, our profits, our, not so profits, whatever they are. So don't take this as recommendations. This is just a documentation of the journey, and hopefully you do learn some great things, because we certainly are. So with that, Mike, let's open up the charts and the news for us today.
I say start with the news.
All right.
Because that's just here's why. The news can always override the charts.
Yes.
So I think it's smart just to always give a quick grab as what's going on in the world today from let's say from a Forex perspective, especially. That's where we're focused here.
Well, that works.
So the only thing that so far, let's see, do you have that? Let me go over here.
Yep. Are you pulling up FinViz, or are you pulling up Forex?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up Forex Factory right now.
Steven might have part of his voice back. He's been almost voiceless, so we're glad to have him back. But we don't know what he's going to say yet. We'll find out. But let's see what pops up on screen. So yeah, go for it, Mike.
All right. So the big thing here, again, we've talked about this before, but we look for two things: red folders, number one, orange folders, number two. And then we will take a look at some of the yellow folders if they're particular to, in our case, USD or the euro.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing I'm focused on right now is this red folder. Unemployment claims pretty much held steady right at the forecast. It's 1,000. I mean, it's basically, 1,000 less than the forecast. The previous was 205. Forecast was 211 or 210,000. So pretty much right on par. That's why it's black. If it's red, like up here, it shows that it's lower than anticipated. Green shows it's better than anticipated. This shows that it's worse than anticipated. So in this case right here, and we click on the folder right there to tell us, we see actual less than the forecast is good for the currency. So this is very slightly less. So technically it's good for the economy, but it's slightly good. So if you look at like March 19th, a week ago, we were 6K below. We were 10K below the forecast.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, we were like 1K below, 2K below. So, we're right on par pretty much with the forecast. So nothing shocking there. The big news of the day is not happened yet. And this is a 4 p.m. conversation. So that's 1 hour before the markets close. Mm-hmm. President Trump speaks. Donnie was saying this morning, just driving home, that he would be out of the market at this time. Mm-hmm. He said, I would be done trading and out of the market. He said, typically talks at this time are, let's say, military, or it'll probably be Iran focused with the war in Iran. So this could have a significant impact. We don't know. I guess with an orange folder, they're predicting that it's not going to be massive, but it could be decent, but we don't know. That could end up possibly being a red folder. And sometimes some orange folders honestly should equate to red folders, because they do have they do have the possibility of a significant impact. So that's where we're starting today. I don't see anything that's really huge. Natural gas storage is coming out soon. I'm not trading natural gas, but I like to know that information, but it's nothing that I trade. Okay, so that's coming out in 4 minutes. So if we pop over to FinViz now, I didn't realize this had a share this tab instead button. I just saw that for the first time. How long have we been using this tool? And I never saw that before.
That may be a new button. They have been adding new stuff.
Yeah, there's a button that says share this tab instead, because that makes things a lot easier for me rather than sharing an entire window with all my pop-ups. Okay. And I have eliminated 99% of notifications because I believe they're nothing but distractions that take you off your focus. So I have completely eliminated them all except for a couple specific trading focused ones for when I'm in the trading zone. So let's look at this today. Okay, so let's go back to anything huge here. I'm going to start off on the left-hand side. That has a personal touch for me. That's why I highlighted it. It's something I personally care about. Not going to impact us as much, but ties to Shield AI. So that's why I'm curious. Okay, so how Japan can use oil market to support the yen? They were talking today about also how the agreement between the U.S. and Japan that you might have seen in the news recently, that's pretty much saying Japan is going to buy U.S. oil, which is not coincidental considering Venezuela, and not coincidental considering that, as we talked about yesterday, the order of operations of Venezuela than Iran. Economic calendar, let's see, holders of Russian debt gain easier. Canadian, some of the information on Canada can impact oil as well. Just something that, again, just pay attention to, but don't be laser focused on it if that's not what you're trading, but it's just good information to have.
One thing I saw that was interesting to me. Well, there are a few different things, but one thing was a little higher up, which had to do with Venezuela, right there, like the fourth one down. So back from Venezuela, veteran investor called its debt a top bet, and which is not really a surprise, but with Venezuela being back in the, let's say, in the U.S. good graces and in other countries as well, in this hemisphere, they're now able to sell oil, the oil that they've had, and at a normal price, and it goes back into the country, right? So that's good for them, and that's really a good outcome. Tells us that Venezuela is on the way back. So I thought that was good. But that also,
on top of that,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that
I was just going to add to something you said, but finish what you're saying.
All right. So with Venezuela being there, first of all, that's great for Venezuela and the Venezuelan people, but it's also very good for us, because even though we're producing the oil that we need for the most part, we've got another partner in this hemisphere that we know we can get oil from, and it replaces some of the oil that we could have or would have potentially gotten from Canada. And so it just gives us a little bit more bargaining power when it comes to Canada as well. Not that we really needed a lot of bargaining power because we've got the cards there, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be a piece, because we know that after Iran, there's going to be some sort of progress or settlement or something on Cuba. And then I would bet, and just looking at things going into the future, the next big news thing, not as a takeover or any regime change or anything, but as a country to work something out with Canada is going to be the next one at that point. But it's going to be a whole different vibe at that point, because it's coming from a different direction, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no military in force. It'd be more just financial and work through it that way.
Back to the normal stuff.
Yeah. And one of the other things too, I just want to add about Venezuela is agree with everything you said. But one of the reasons why it says also that their debt is a top bet. Well, one of the things that's happening is obviously we send in people from Halliburton, et cetera, to fix their broken and what's the word? Not debilitated, but dramatically impacted oil line. I mean, the gas lines, the lines that bring oil. Antiquated. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. It just wasn't coming to my tongue, so I appreciate that.
And some deferred maintenance, I would imagine, as well as antiquated.
Yeah, all the above, exactly. So bottom line is, as that gets improved and repaired or replaced, probably replaced, I would guess, because if we're looking at this, depending on how we're looking at the relationship, quite frankly, and I think that could be quite telling as well. If we're looking to make a long-term investment here and considering the gold and oil resources, I would expect we are looking for a longer-term relationship. But bottom line is, as we fix that infrastructure, all that's going to do is significantly enhance the possibility and probability of exponential increases, or at least multilinear increases in the production that can come out of there, which is only going to help fuel their economy, which is only going to help us as well in this scenario. Excuse me. So completely on board with that, and think that that's exactly what's going on there as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how Delsey plays her cards. So we'll see. Delsey's the former VP acting president.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. It's funny. I've said Venezuela more in this past year than I probably have in my entire life. Besides the fact that I knew it was right next to Aruba, and I knew that the former Major League pitcher for Fernando Valenzuela was not Fernando Venezuela when I was a little kid. That was my first. Oh my God, his name isn't Venezuela; it's Valenzuela, and Venezuela is a country. I knew nothing. I'm going to be fully transparent. I knew about them at a very high level, but I've learned more about them because it directly impacts what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And has a big impact. So yeah, so I mean, this is the general news as we're taking a look. I mean, you see too, the 949, S&P falls 500. Oil falls as oil jumps, and Trump warns Iran negotiations are about to get serious. No kidding. Have they ever not been serious? I mean, this is just clickbait and stupid, and this is just if it kind of discredits the emotion of the market, in my opinion. I mean, if you this has been serious since day one. I mean, we're putting lives on the line. That's pretty damn serious, in my opinion. So if that phrase triggered anything, then shame on you, because it's always been serious. That's my little 2-cent tangent right there. That really frustrated me, clearly. In addition to that, I mean, again, too, like, for example, too, I mean, oil's up over 90 again, and I did not. We're pretty much out of oil at my home, so I had to place another oil delivery. So oil that for me was, I think my last one, I think I said was around 350 because we had timed it good. Well, this one's 530 for just 100 gallons, just getting delivered to the house.
Wow.
So yeah, and again, great guy, and not trying to take advantage of me at all. That's just the way it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's we know that those things affect it. It was kind of funny. What you said was not funny, by the way, that last piece.
No,
I'm sure not to you either. But it was, what was kind of funny was we were talking about oil and the price of oil at $93 is that magic number for an extended period of time. And I go, by the way, I'm just about to hit an alert on a trade, which there it goes. This is on Euro USD.
Okay.
But I opened up my trading view this morning, and I look at oil, and oil was at 93. It was just like, wait a minute, I just said we were just talking about this. So kind of funny. But I am looking at taking a sell on Euro USD.
Off the front wall?
Off the front wall. All right, it just hit the front wall in the 1 hour.
Yep.
Wait, your chart is very different than mine right now.
Here.
It actually just pierced the front wall. What am I missing on your chart?
I'm on Tasty. What are you on?
Oh, I'm on Awanda.
Yeah, so I put this one on Tasty because that's where I was trading Euro USD. So I wanted to see where their chart was. And that was, again, the only reason I was on Tasty is because of its ties to Omni. Otherwise, I would not go to Tasty. Just said, well, they are great and they are US backed and they are very safe and funded. Your leverage just is terrible compared to. It's not terrible, but it's a quarter of what you can get elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went through my charts this morning and had a lot of changes where I got rid of a lot of, because a lot of it there was 3 breaches, so that eliminates it. But look at that consolidation. There's been a lot of consolidation. I have barely traded this because I don't like consolidation. I trade bigger swings. When it's consolidating, I watch it and I really don't get involved. So like I think I made 1 trade yesterday just because I don't like consolidation.
Got it.
I understand it's par for the course, but it's not what I'm looking for. If I'm going to be in and out, I want to be in and out, and I want to be decently profitable. I missed this, considering it was at 1 a.m. I was not awake at that point, so that's fine. Didn't have any alerts set. I missed this because of the timing yesterday. I had a lot going on yesterday afternoon, and just didn't and missed this. But like that's a swing I would have paid attention to. But as you can see, it went through 1, 2, 3 demand zones into a 4th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in those cases, those were supply zones.
Correct. I said demand zones, but you're 100% correct. Those are supply zones. Those are not demand zones.
It took me forever to learn the difference. Just saying. So like, wait, it sticks now. It finally sticks.
Didn't he talk about Einstein is going to come out and identify those now? I don't know if
so
if you were on.
I did. That's great because it's going to save me a lot of time. And so, I mean, when I say a lot of time, I mean,
just explain it for somebody's listening so they didn't catch it.
It'll save me about an hour a week, I would say,
if I'm
going to be fully trained.
In terms of what Einstein's going to do.
Yep. So that's what it is. So bottom line is right here, I said we had a demand zone over here or supply zone over here that flipped. Once it got flipped 3 times, it goes away. So what Einstein's going to do is I have to go in and manually do this. You guys have seen me do that. I'll go in, select it here. Is it 50%? Yes, that's great. And then I have to change it to flipped. And then I have to change it to demand zone when it flipped. Then I have to change it back to supply zone. Then I have to go in and delete it. That's going away. Einstein is going to automatically detect supply and demand zones and put them in there. And when they flip, it's going to automatically flip it. And after it's been breached 3 times, it's going to automatically remove it.
Really?
So what that does, yes. So I spend about 10 minutes a day validating that, which isn't bad, but when you add it up over the course of, it's about 50 to 60 minutes a week, ballpark. So let's just call it an hour a week. 52 weeks, that's 52 hours. That's pretty much, it's more than a work week for the average person. So I'm going to get a work week back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's pretty big once that's released, because I love going in and doing the charts, and I do thoroughly understand, in my opinion, supply and demand zones. And I know, like in this scenario right here, I'm focused on the top one, but I want to have these markers to see if it turns around at that point until they're passed. So that's the only reason why I keep those here, is I am laser focused on the top one, but I'm more interested to see, does it stop consistently at this wall while that supply zone is still in play? So the main things, as we've talked about before, we're taking a look at is your moving averages. By the way, Einstein also, we've talked about this before, but I just want to touch on it again. In addition to it automatically marking up your charts for you. Actually, that's a whole different thing. I talk about the 10 minutes, and that's the adjustments that I'm making. I'm also spending probably about an additional 10 minutes marking up my charts on different time frames. This is going to auto mark up all the time frames. I mark up the 1 hour, 4 hour, and sometimes the daily. I do not mark up the lower time frames. This is going to be doing, my understanding is all the time frames. Right. So you move down to a 5 minute, it's gonna have automatically the zones selected for you on the 5 minute. Which is huge. Yeah. So I didn't even think of that. I mean, that's saving over 30 minutes a day to me. If I was to do that, I'm not doing all that, but that's probably saving me 30 minutes a day. And I'm focused on only Euro, USD, and gold. This is going to do this for all charts. Well, rephrase that. Your subscription dictates what charts Einstein works for.
Right.
Okay. So depending on what you subscribe to, all of your authorized pairs or commodities or in crypto, etc., Based on your subscription, it will work for all of them. But what I was going to say is Einstein, we've talked about this before. I got in right at Black Friday and got a huge savings on my TradingView.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have this plan. But I'm happy I do due to how I like to tinker, because otherwise that would have restricted me. If I definitely always have been. But you're limited to the number of indicators you can have over here. See, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
I would not be able to have 5 if I didn't have the plan I had. So
No.
by having Einstein, that includes the SMA 20, the SMA 66, and the SMA 200. That's included in automatically in Einstein. If I hide, I'll show you guys. So if I go and hide this, we've talked about this before, but if I hide the 20, it's still there because that's included in Einstein. The only thing that this prediction tool does is it carries it out. So that is extremely valuable. So Einstein is right off the bat here. If you are not even serious about this, but you're serious about learning it, the ability to have Einstein is going to not only make sure that you're not making mistakes with your zones, and it's validating it's authenticating and authorizing that you have the proper selected zones on each time frame, and it's also providing you 3 separate indicators which are critical not only for the E3 strategy, but for you to decide support and resistance locations.
Mm-hmm.
And then now adding the zones, now we're going to have support and resistance lines pretty much included as well. So the only thing we're going to have to do is mark highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Timeline seemed to be imminent, but he didn't give an exact one.
Agreed.
But it seemed close enough that he would make the announcement. Yeah.
And he showed it to us on his chart. And he showed us that he's using it on his, where it automatically puts the zones in.
Yeah, and that went over me. I didn't catch it. Now
Yep.
that means it's here.
Yep. So I think he's probably just fine tuning, my guess.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
and making sure it works across time frames and work about that. But I'd be curious to see if he still adds it to the 1 minute, because quite frankly, I don't know. It's a little extreme, but whatever. Yeah, so right now we have, just going back to gold really quick. Gold's been at the 20. This was doing this earlier. That's the 4 hour. But if we go to the 1 hour, go at the 4 hours, kind of just sitting at the 20. It's been there for a while. Go to the 1 hour. Well, looks like the 20 is about to cross the 66. That's happening roughly around just after noon, between noon and 1-ish. And that typically would indicate a downtrend forming.
Yep.
But as you can see, I got a bunch of zones here. This is because, again, normally I would only keep this top one, but I'm paying attention to these because of exactly this. It stayed off this zone. It didn't breach it until here. And when it did, it went up to the 20 and then came back. So that's why I still keep them here and mark them, because they're still impacting decisions.
Yes. So, by the way, my Euro trade, Euro USD, I didn't jump in. I'd be up about 15 pips if I did, but it just missed the 20.
Okay. Was it this one right here on the 1 hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally just missed. I had a slightly different zone. My zone was a little bit lower. And so I was looking, I was like, okay, I'm going to take it at the 20. Literally just missed the 20, and it's dropped down since. So
yeah, and
it would have been decent, but not a big move.
Yeah, and you could argue that this zone right here, you could bring it down a little bit if I wanted. This is just an older zone that's flipped twice that I thought we got rid of, but actually it hasn't breached. It just needs to close above it, and it's done. This zone. And I thought it was going to potentially right here, but then as the 20 started coming down, the 20 held true.
Yeah, and
it really was a strong point of resistance.
Flipped 2, so that's how you keep in track of them. Flip 2 once it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep, flip 1 and flip 2. I changed it. I had just supply zones, and I wouldn't add that in, and then I started wasting more time going back to see how many times it flipped.
Yep.
So if it's already at flip 2, and I know the last time I was in here, let's say it was 4 p.m. yesterday, then I just can say, okay, well, anything past, did it? Okay, so I had this earlier as flip 2 when I was in here, so it hasn't gone above. Okay, it stays. So that saves me about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to a minute to a little bit longer, depending on how far back it goes.
Yep.
But yep, I started doing that, and it makes it easier to track. But see right here, it's gonna see it's right at the 200. It looks like it's going above the 200. It's probably going to go up to the 20.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I wanted to see the 20. And like I said, my zone is a little bit lower than what yours is. So it got into my zone, but it was but I was waiting for that 20. And that's where I was going to take it. So right out, in my case, it was right out the front wall.
So good question. You take that back down, or are you going to take it up to the 66?
No, I was going to take it. I was going to take it down.
Yep, I agree with that. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because you have the.
Pick it up. I don't see that happening. It could.
It could.
But I don't see that happening right now.
And you have resistance, resistance, resistance.
Yep.
So it'd have to definitely breach here, breach that supply zone, and then, yeah, I actually have to shut off the recurring version of this alert. We're going to set it to not every time, but to once. I don't need to get this 45 times.
No.
I wanted it when I said it a bunch of times, but I don't want it when I said it now because I'm not as focused on it. If we jump over to gold for a sec. Okay, gold's right at the 66 and the 22, and the 66 is right at, well, the 20 is right at the 50, right at the 50% part of the zone, and the 66 right at the base, the front wall. But again, too, I'm not trading this. There's just too much. There's too much. Both, even your tops and bottoms, they're tight.
They are. Yeah, there's not a lot of good room.
Yeah, what we mean by that, if anyone's wondering, so you have the 20, the 66, and the 10. Those are all support and resistance areas that we're paying attention to. You also have 3 supply zones and 1 demand zone, all like right there consolidated in a tight area. This one might be gone, actually.
But every one of those lines is a point of resistance, a point of rejection, potentially.
Yep.
And so you don't necessarily know, is it going to go all the way down? Is it going to go up? But those are stopping points. And so we're thinking about those, like, all right, well, could I take it for 3 pips? Yeah. That's not really what we're looking for. So
right.
We're looking for a certain size trade where we can at least make enough. That is an interesting bird you've got there. Just saying.
Oh, that's one of the chirping ones. It grabs my attention.
So,
I played with the different alerts and saw which ones I naturally ignored and which ones grabs my attention, and that annoying chirp grabs my attention. The chirp was initially only tied to Bitcoin, but I also tied it to front walls and back walls alerts.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin, just to look at that really fast. So that's back down to 69. It's been in the 60s and low 70s for a little bit now.
Yeah, I mean, what do we got here? It's recent lows, well, 69, 145. Still a great opportunity. And look at this. Well, we have the 20 cross the 66. It's about to cross the 200. So interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just an E3 strategy. Yep.
This is my last XRP buy, because that's next one down. My last XRP buy was at 135, and that true buy. In other words, not
it's a good number.
And it's almost back down to that. Still up a little bit from there, but not much.
And we are in a true downtrend on the E3 cross.
Oh yeah.
20, 200, 66, 20, all in the proper order for a negative downplay on an E3 cross with a 10 below it. And that happened right here. And that was at 10 p.m. last night. And what happened?
It all went down.
So there's an E3 cross to a T.
Yep. Yeah, that is a great example. And it makes sense, because if you think about, the 200, that's not going to move as fast because it's averaging the past 200 moves, but a 20 moves faster because it's only averaging the past 20 moves. So if the trend is down, you're going to see it on the 20 more so than you would on the 200, just be more exaggerated. And 66, of course, in between there. But when you have them in that order, you know that you are heading down. And it played out perfectly. That would have been a great sell.
Yep. And I'll say this, one of the things I tinkered with yesterday with paper money.
Yeah.
Actually 2 days ago, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, was trying to just look at it and make quick decisions. And I am so far away from where I need to be on that. I went from having an 86% success rate to about a 50% success rate, slightly higher than 50. And a lot of them were sound decisions, but I was trying to do short. I was trying to test scalping using just looking at it and trying to ride quick trends and trying to see. Let's just see where you are. If you do this, let's see how well you do. And I started off really good, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so good at this. I'm like, you're actually getting it. I mean, look at how good. And then
I love the self-talk.
Yeah. No, I was like, seriously? I was like, my God, why aren't you doing this more? That's why you're not doing it more often. That turned around really quick. And then I was like, okay, well, that turned around. I can get it back. I'm like, now you're buying into the gambler's fallacy. So now you're literally stereotypically doing everything you shouldn't be doing. Stop, walk away for a second, come back and do it. And then I was right around like win, loss, win. So I'm like, forget this. Let's go back to what we're doing. You're not ready yet. I can still see and recognize stuff, but I still require multiple confirmations, which at least 2 to 4, ideally 4. But anything in that 2 to 3 range will often jump if I think there's a lot of supporting evidence. And I was just trying to quickly assess, excluding the E3 cross moments, just to jump in and jump out on short time frames. And no, not there yet. 50% is not any number that I'm willing. That's literally gambling.
Yeah. That sell, by the way, on gold that popped up at Einstein was a 15-minute.
Yep.
And it actually came out where it was right there.
So one of the things I just wanted to briefly point out too is you have Einstein calling the 2 buys on XRP right here, right? And it's not a bad play. The entry's right here. So, I mean, I am looking to see, is this going to turn around? So what I do is go to a lower time frame. Clearly it's not, because it's going down right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I will go to like the one. No, the one's exhausted. Okay, and that's right at 23. Where's the 3 at?
That RSI is pretty low.
Yep, and this is probably going to go down too. So let's see if the 3 and the 5 get exhausted. 33, 31. Yeah, they're not there yet. But if they get down to about here,
that would be a good time.
Which is exactly, it's probably a good time to buy. But this is, I mean, just as an example, I just wanted to show everyone like what we're doing or what I'm doing. Is I agree that this is probably a good idea, but not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be in drawdown. And it's getting close to that stop loss.
Yep. So in this scenario too, though, I know that if there's those indicators pointing to that's a good idea for a buy, well, not yet. So let's wait and see. Let's go down to the lower time frames and let's wait for this to turn around. Let's look for a little bit of momentum on a very lower time frame. And once I got a little bit of momentum coming back up to like this candle, as long as it goes higher than this candle, because the retest up to the base of the candle is normal. So if I was to wait for it to come back up and just slightly exceed and go into this candle, then I'd probably jump in on that because I'd still be way behind the entry.
Yep. Yeah, definitely agree. So, but I thought that was interesting. Because I was looking at the 15-minute on the gold too, and it's now coming back to entry.
Let's
So
go there.
it has not moved. It hit TP1, which is pretty close, but did not hit TP2. It actually got stopped in between the 10 and the 20. This is on the 15 minutes. So
Yep.
yeah, looking at
Yep. It's not, yeah. Right. Right. Just
Yeah.
basically at the 10, right below it. But
yeah, but pretty.
and
Close.
I don't have yet. Right, but here's a great example. I mean, this would be phenomenal if we had this marked up for us without me going through and marking up the 15-minute, just to know where our zones are.
Oh my golly, yes.
Because I mean, right here, I mean that's the zone. I'm not going to mark it up as a full zone, but I'm going to do an Alt J. I'll make it a support and base. So there's one line. That's a mini supply zone. It's now been flipped to a demand zone. I don't think that's quite big enough. That is. So that's a 15-minute demand zone.
Yep.
And I got to update my templates there. I don't like some of the names on the supply one is now changed to flipped one.
When you put in those 15 minutes, did you program that template so that it would only show on the 15-minute?
Yeah. So if I go to 30, it's gone.
Nice. Well done. That was what I was going to
But
recommend. Already had.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was going to say one of the things I did notice though is Donnie will often use his like day or his 4 hour and his 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to like look at that information to see if they overlap. So I was thinking about my daily 4 hour and 1 hour, my daily and 4 hour, having them show up, having my daily show up in the 4 hour and the 1 hour, having my 4 hour show up on the 1 hour, and having my 1 hour show up also on my 30. Because of he does say he does look to see where is all the information the same.
Yeah.
And that's where he plays a lot. Now, just to quickly show you guys the way we do that, the way we mark that for specific time zones, if I go into this right here and I go to visibility, well, right here we can select. So I'll do minutes. It's only available from the 15-minute mark to the 15-minute mark. That's just the way I lock it down.
Yep.
That's where we set our text. That's where we set our style for the line. I like extended right, so it automatically just takes everything off to the right. It doesn't just stop.
Agreed. Yeah, that's important because you don't want to have to keep extending it, especially if something hasn't been broken.
Well, this is now another demand zone because I'm pretty positive that's over 50 from here to the. Let's try that again.
It's like, that just sounded like to me.
That was not what we were looking for. If I take that up to here, yep, that works.
Yeah.
So that's the demand zone.
Yeah.
But even still, that just took me what, like 40 seconds, 30 seconds?
Yep.
It's going to be done instantly.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Big change.
All of these things are great.
Yeah, right. One of the things to point out, I've mentioned before, I don't know if they can hear me all right. My voice is getting back to what we have here with Donnie Pips and the Build Academy and the Omni, Trade the World app, is that when you compare it across the board for the investment price, the value is not matched anyplace, anywhere at all. The level of education that you can get, the knowledge that you can get, the way Donnie teaches it and people learn. And I've looked at other things and people's, kind of going over the basics, but it doesn't sink in like Donnie gets to you. And when you look at our sessions with him in the morning and the evenings, and you got people from all walks of life, all across the country and other countries as well, and they've come together, and everybody gets it. Everybody starts learning it. So there's a system that he's got in the way that he teaches it that you're able to learn it, you're able to grasp it. So that this chart that Mike has right up in front of it is every day. You understand every point of it. and it happens quick and fast, and it's just amazing.
I agree. And the fact that he's the one who's kind of providing you those moving averages, he's the one who's providing you those demand zones and the supply zones within that, it takes away your human error.
Yeah.
And it's being done by someone who's made millions and continues to make millions in this and has been doing this for 17 years. So you're basically having an expert mark up your charts for you. That value in and of itself is massive.
If you,
it is
when he lets out occasionally, like his level of achievement and things that he's achieved, and the recognition he has in that industry, you don't have it other places. So that's a factor that hits in there too when you start seeing his knowledge and what he's achieved.
And he's young. I mean, and when I say that, I mean he's, I guess, in his 40s or late 30s, somewhere would be my guess. I don't know how old he is, but actually, based by some of his references, he's definitely in his 40s. Some of his musical references he's thrown out there, but bottom line, and TV references. But bottom line is,
today was Don Knotts.
Yes, exactly.
That came from his mom because he was
no one in their 30s is referencing Don Knotts. Unless their parents were heavily into certain shows or show. But bottom line is he's only his recognition's only growing.
Yep.
And even where he lives and who he's whatever. Bottom line is his recognition's only growing. So this kind of access is worth so much more than the subscription. And even if you look at it, I mean, I always look for that. Am I making 90 cents on the dollar? Am I getting, so they basically charging 10 cents on the dollar. And if they are, then it's an absolute no brainer. Why am I not involved in this? If I think this person is worthy. And this person is someone that I need to get more information from. So you basically have somebody that is this strongly established, that is providing you these kind of tools to take your mistakes out of the picture as you're learning, and you're going to have this as your backdrop for probably less than a dime on the dollar, if I'm being fair, but let's just call it a dime on the dollar. It is insane what the access that we get.
Yeah, it truly is. So we are at time, guys. So this has been very, very helpful. I've enjoyed, Mike, you did some great show and tell there on the charts and talking about some of the different stuff after we went through the news. So there's a lot of stuff to look at, but the more you look at this stuff, the more that you listen, the more that you get involved, the more you understand. It's like that's what I found for me. I start to understand more. At first, it's like, what are they saying? What? And now it clicks. Most of the time it clicks. I'm not going to say it always clicks yet because it doesn't, but it's definitely getting there. So, but this is just us sharing our journey, and hopefully it's helpful for all of you. So any closing comments, guys?
Steve, you want to go first?
Donnie was looking at gold today. There's opportunities there.
Yep.
The best thing, he's showing us there's opportunities whether the market goes up or the market goes down. The best thing is you don't have to buy or own a stock, so you're not limited.
I agree with that. And actually, I'm just going to touch on that really quick as we're getting off based on exactly what Steve just said. I'm just going to briefly double down on that. On UJ. If UJ closes below I would set an alert. If UJ closes below 159.440, okay, so set an alert on UJ. If UJ closes today, which is March 26th, 11:05 a.m., if it closes below that, then that means strong buy on gold. So it's about right here. If it closes below this, not if a wick hits it, if it closes below it, 440, it indicates a strong buy on gold.
right. I just added it in. Let me put my notes on there.
And your dog is ready to go.
Oh, yes. Yes, she is.
Mine is sound asleep on the couch in front of me.
Mhm.
Really?
Oh yeah, just happy as a clam right now until something moves outside the window. Then she'll get all excited. Let's see.
All right.
All right.
Well, I am going to
1:59.
jump. So,
Yep.
Thanks, guys. And you all have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday morning, about 12:15 or so. I'm sorry, 10:15 or so, streaming. Yeah, 12:15. I can tell you I'll be in a meeting. But have a great one all and make it a profitable one.